Welcome back to Entrepreneurs Lounge. My next guest is none other than cake artist Wanjiru Kariuki, who is also the CEO of Taji Cakes Kenya. Now, remember when I told you there was a secret about her? Wanjiru is actually a sibling to my last entrepreneur, Caleb. We've never had this before in the show, and I'm very excited, specifically because they're in different fields. You're welcome to the show, Wanjiru.
Thank you, Ingrid.
It's a sibling affair. You're all entrepreneurs in your family?
Yes, other than I think our firstborn, but he also does a bit of entrepreneurship here and there.
You all have the gene.
I think so, yeah.
So cake artist, Taji Cakes. Tell me about your story.
So yeah, I am a cake artist. I like calling myself a cake artist because I put art into cake.
Right.
I know many people can bake. Probably even you have baked something.
Even yesterday. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't for sale. Well, but yeah.
So now that there's so many people who can bake, I don't just call myself a baker. I go the extra mile of, creating beautiful centerpieces for your events. So you want a cake like frozen, with the new craze with kids, frozen, or whatever it is that
so
you need.
So you do it differently from the normal round cake with frosting?
Exactly, yeah.
However, how did you then start out in this business? How did you become a cake artist? How did Taji Cakes come about?
So I usually say I almost sort of stumbled into baking. I had never gone to any baking school, didn't other than those small baking at home as a wife, you like baking a few things for your guests.
Were you good at it though?
Yes, I was good at it. I would go to, on the internet, look for recipes, try them out, change up a few things here and there. But I never thought I would do it as a business. So I was employed for 2 years. Then I resigned. Then I started doing small businesses. At first I did events planning. Then I decided I don't want to deal with bridezillas,
How many, by the way?
So many. So I sort of eased into baking. Sort of just one of those things that God just lays on your laps, I've given you this gift, run with it. So I started, in a small way, baking from the house with my small oven and selling to, friends and, people around me. And they kept saying, your cakes are really good, sell. I'm like, okay, how much do you want to pay for it? And like, no, you tell me how much you want to charge me. I'm like, I don't know, how much do people buy cakes for? So that's how I started, in a very not serious way, sort of almost unplanned, but then got serious as time went by.
So as someone who started out as a hobby, as someone who did it as, as a wife, just making sure the family had good food and baked pastries to eat, how did it make sense as a business? At what point did you realize, this could be a proper money-making venture for me? And when did you actually now get serious about it, including pricing, saying, I'm going to do this? When did it make sense?
I would say the first 3-4 months, I was just selling to, friends, and then they would give me money, and I would keep it in a separate purse, and I would keep doing that, and they would give me money. Then one day I counted that money, and I had 30-something thousand. I was like, not bad. Maybe there's something in this. So I decided in June of 2016, that's when I made up my mind. I'm like, this thing looks like it has money. And then I have a friend of mine who became my mentor. She's also a baker. So I went and sat her down in her office, and I'm like, so tell me, several years down the line, because when I was starting baking, I think she had done it for about 6 years or so. So I was like, and she also started like me, started from home, baking for your husband's colleagues, and they like the cake. So I asked her, 6 years down the line, what has kept you going? Why are you still here? Does it make economic sense? Does it make financial sense? And she told me, one thing I'll tell you, if you're passionate about it, if you're, keen on what you're doing, go for it, there's money. So I sat down and decided I'm going to now, cost my cakes properly. Not just selling, not just receiving whatever money my customer wants to give me, but actually sitting down and calculating the cost of everything that goes into my cake. Then I was able to come up now with, this is my pricing. And so in June of 2016, that's when we did a small launch for Taji Cakes.
Oh, wow.
I baked several cakes, called our friends. They came with cake, and I told them, take photos and post on your Facebook pages.
Now push my brand.
Yes, push my brand. So you're eating cake from Taji Cakes. that's how we started.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You started off by mentioning something very interesting. You said you like to call yourself a cake artist because there's so many people out there who are trying to bake, including myself. That batch of cookies that failed last night, I did make an attempt at baking. However, the question is, with everyone out there trying to bake and also turn it into a business, how do you stand out and make sure when, as a customer, I think about going to Taji Cakes, how do you deal with competition?
I like to look at it this way. The product I am selling, and I don't compete, and I tell most bakers, I don't compete on price.
Right.
I compete on my product.
Right.
I'm selling a premium product. That is what I'm competing on. Because anyone can bake, like we said, but what product are you selling? What is your competitive edge? What sets you apart? What will make you come to Taji Cakes and not go to someone else? Assuming I'm selling a cake at 2,400 shillings, what will make you come to, and another baker next to me selling the same cake, same price. So what will make you come to me and not that other baker? So I think for me, I've majored on quality. Clients want, and the kind of clients I target, they will not take a badly done cake.
Right.
They want quality, they want convenience, they want, they want to call you, find you, deliver to me. That's the kind of client I deal with. And if you're able to meet the needs of these clients, they're clients who are on social media, they're clients who are, they're influential among their circles, and they will do birthday parties or, cake for any occasion. So they will tell people who are around them. So if I do a good job for you today, and you have guests coming to you, meaning you've impressed your guests. We are a generation that like impressing, yeah?
Yes.
So if you come to my event and there is good cake, I feel good about myself.
Of course.
So of course, and everybody else around who came to your event will want to get that kind of cake because they want such an experience.
So you have a proper grasp of who your target audience is, and you make sure whatever your product is centered around the needs of the target audience. You mentioned something where you said you actually started out in employment. I would like to hear a bit about that, about your employment journey and how you would say it feeds into you being a successful entrepreneur today.
Okay, so I'm a trained quantity surveyor. Worlds apart from what I'm doing right now.
Worlds apart.
Because I'm Jengo, construction into caking. We call it caking.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think some of the values I learned, and especially from my boss then, was integrity, honesty, and excellence. And especially excellence. Do something with a touch of excellence. I remember, the work involved, construction, so we do high-end houses, and I think I got to interact with the clients who are dealing with them, and they'll be particular on what they want. If they tell you, I want this kind of a hand wash basin, that's what they want. Don't give them what you think.
Right. They want exactly what they want.
They want exactly what they want, and they can pay for it. And that's a very interesting kind of clientele to deal with, because, well, one, they know what they want, and they can afford it. Most importantly for an entrepreneur, the person you're selling to, can they afford, do they have the buying power to buy what you're selling to them? So I think for me, some of those now values is what I've brought into my business. And when I talk to my staff, when I have meetings with them, I tell them, we are selling quality. We cannot compromise on quality.
That's it.
If a cake goes out, I do not want to hear a complaint that the cake was not well cooked or not well baked, not well, I do not, let's fight about something else.
Not quality.
We cannot fight about quality. We cannot fight about a late delivery. We will not have that, And so even getting to educate my staff on how I want things done is because where I was employed, my boss was very keen. Customer comes first. You please the customer, make sure you give them what they want, then they give us what we want, which is money.
And also what I'm getting is you have a certain standard that you refuse to go below. Thank you very much for coming on to the show, Wanjiru. I wish you all the best with Taji Cakes, and I'm dying to have a slice of that greatness. Well, we'll take a very quick break, but don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we have the quickfire round for you. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Entrepreneurs Lounge, and you're just in time for our exciting quickfire round. Now, Wanjiru, Caleb, I know you guys know about our infamous quickfire round. So just basically for formality, though I know you already know, I'll tell you what it's about. So during this round, I ask 5 very general questions. The trick is to have the correct answer out really fast. So when you know, don't wait, just like blurt it out. The person with the correct answer out earns a point. At the end of it, well, if both of you get it right, it's a tie. At the end of the round, the person with the most correct answers earns the title of Quickfire King or Queen. And as you walk out, you'll be handed either your crown or your tiara. Okay. Yeah, it's that deep, guys.
Wow.
So, the crown, it has diamonds. What do you want? You can go sell it. You ready? Okay, so we're getting right into it. Quick fire question number 1. Agent 007, featured in many movies dating back to 1962, is known as
Castle Royale.
Yes. No, I wasn't asking about a movie. It helps, yeah. It helps to let me get the question out first. But yes, can I finish it so you see where I was going? But he's right. Agent 007, featured in many movies dating back to 1962, is known as Dash Bond. Okay. So you were supposed to fill out the dash. And yes, it's James. The next one is just as easy. So 1 point to Caleb. I feel a sibling rivalry going on here. Wanjiru is like, I'm taking this one. I don't care if she has to get out the question. I'm giving you this one. Okay, Caleb. Shh. Okay. Question number 2. The human brain communicates with the rest of the body through networks known as, number 1, calm down. Number 1, tendons. Number 2, please listen, muscles. Number 3, nerves.
Nerves. Nerves?
Yes.
Why are you saying that?
Because I'm giving you options. So when I say the right one, then like him, almost jump at my throat and say, nerves. So I'm going to let this guy take the crown. You're here to prove a point.
I will donate the crown.
Just stop winning. But she wants to earn it. Imagine there are 3 more questions, meaning you have a chance to win for 3 more points.
Okay, let's go for it.
Question number 3, Newton. You know a guy Newton, the guy in the past. Yeah. Newton is said to have been inspired, but by what to describe the theory of gravity? What inspired Newton? Yes, girl. You didn't even wait for the options.
I wanted to say, but
apple.
she has to win.
No, it was an apple. Yes,
Okay.
Wanjiru, that one is yours.
Okay.
Question number 4. This one is on religion. The head of the Roman Catholic Church is known as
Pope.
Tie.
Tie.
2 points for Wanjiru, 3 points for Caleb. Final question. Please tie this. Please tie this. Question number 5. According to the Big Bang Theory, how did the universe begin? Number 1, through a rainstorm. Number 2, a slow, calm expansion. Number 3, an explosion.
Explosion. We got it. We tied. We tied.
Fine, guys. You tied.
We are Big Bang Theory.
Because you tied, Caleb wins. He was a point ahead.
Okay.
So Caleb wins today's quickfire round with 3 points. Wanjiru, you did so well, though. Don't feel bad. You are just 1 behind. Thank you very much for coming on to the show, guys. Well, that's all the show we had for you today on Entrepreneurs Lounge. And remember, we have a new home. We're currently shooting at King Post Suites and Residence, located on Raptor Road in Westlands. Don't go anywhere because we have so much more amazing programming coming your way right here on Metropole TV. I've been your host, Ingrid Nantege.